Cause Before Symptom with your host, James Carner.
Woo! I stirred up some feathers last night. Hey, tonight is going to be a follow-up to last night and what we talked about. A follow-up to XRP replacing the dollar. Stick around. Welcome to Cause Before Symptom. I'm your host, James Carner. Very weird, but my system, my computer, is having major issues, which should not be happening. Really bizarre because I stirred up some feathers in the XRP world by saying that I believe David Schwartz is the key to this entire problem we're going to face with the dollar coming up in the future. And I put out just a quick little TikTok post last night just saying, hey, tonight on Live on Rumble, come check it out, how XRP is going to replace the dollar. And it got like 30,000 views like that. And then a bunch of people came over onto the show last night or watched it and then commented. More comments I've ever seen on Rumble. I'm used to, maybe 1, 2 at tops, but, not 4 to 10, which we received last night. So tonight we're going to be following up with this whole David Schwartz XRP thing and basically see if we can figure this one out together. I have to say right off the bat, I am not a crypto fan. I'm not a crypto fan. I am not a crypto expert either. Although when I was on TikTok, the scammers were going insane, following up with my audience saying, hey, it's James, you better have your finances in order for the coming crash. And then they'll say, do you have your QFS system set up? Which is the quantum financial system. And that is a pure lie. I do not believe that the white hat government is going to give everybody a laptop with $5 million on it. That's what the QFS rumor is. You're going to show up at a bank and you're supposed to do something for humanity. It's absolutely insane. The whole white hat Trump patriot movement has gone just overboard. And as you guys know, I stepped off of the Trump train a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, basically deciding that whatever he's doing is wrong because he is going after his brothers and sisters on the left and calling them names and sowing division, keeping the right happy, but not even trying to appeal to the left. And that does not form unity. And so, with that in mind, same thing with cryptocurrency and scammers. I don't like them either, just like I don't like Trump. And last night when I made the connection to David Schwartz, it seems that the crypto community already knew that David Schwartz was the creator or person in charge of writing Bitcoin for the NSA. And it seems Ripple was set to pitch it to the World Economic Forum, which my research in the past indicated that Chris Larsen did pitch it to Klaus Schwab and company, and they were pitching it decentralized, and Klaus Schwab turned it down. Then they came back and then got the approval with a centralized version. So all of this has to do with David Schwartz, and all of this has to do now with BlackRock and JP Morgan Chase, which are the two largest financial companies in the world. And they are going to use tokenization to keep track of the derivatives market. And I think this has a lot to do with getting their foot in the door and moving us towards cryptocurrency or a centralized digital currency, which, again, I want you to understand, a centralized digital currency is bad. When you when you hear the word central, what it means is one place central to all. All of the spider webs are connected to this central hub, like the Federal Reserve. All banks in the United States have to report their income outcome, what goes in and what goes out of their banks, to the Federal Reserve. And that should be wrong, because if you're a private bank, you shouldn't have to report your earnings to anyone. But that's how it's set up. And they set it up saying, we'll keep track of your ledgers, and you need to trust us that we are going to continue to keep the economy strong. Well, that's been the lie since day one. What they do is they keep track of your ledgers, and they monitor who's making money and who's not, and then they use mafia-style tactics to get rid of their own competition. And on top of that, the Federal Reserve regulates what the dollar amount should be valued at, along with the stock market and the full control that the Federal Reserve has on the world. So all of this needs to be addressed. And we're going to go over a lot of this tonight. So stick around and strap up. In my last podcast, I did some research on the links between the NSA and David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple. I think we should do a deep dive on this guy and see what his motives are if he indeed did create Bitcoin, and it is Satoshi Nakamoto. And I also wanted to find out more information on tokenization of the financial markets to see how far they've gotten, and the reality of how long it will take to take full control of the entire world with a digital coin that's backed by promise. Same thing with the dollar. Plus, I will explore all the comments that I received, and I'll answer those questions to the best of my ability. Now, again, I'm saying I'm not an expert in XRP, Ripple, or any crypto. I own some, but I don't use it to trade and make money off of. It just sits there, and every now and then I'll go look at it and see where it's going, and it never goes up. At least for the past 7-8 years that I've owned it. It just sits there. Maybe sometimes it goes up, but then it goes back down. And it just seems to just not really go anywhere. And that puzzles me. And it doesn't make sense either. Because like the stock market, every year it goes up, 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 up. It's supposed to. But the crypto industry just seems to kind of stay stagnant. It'll have a huge bump on one or two of them, but then they go right back down after, which tells me that this isn't a natural progression of money when I talk about crypto, or some type of a trade thing for trading services or products. So it really looks like it's all manipulated. But first things first, who is David Schwartz? David Schwartz is Chief Technology Officer at Ripple. David is one of the original architects of the XRP ledger. Prior to joining Ripple, David Schwartz was Chief Technical Officer for Webmaster Incorporated, a Santa Clara software developer. He developed encrypted cloud storage and enterprise messaging systems for organizations like CNN and the National Security Agency. He's known as Joel Katz, because he likes cats. He is a respected voice in the digital currency community. Okay. I want to give a shout out to everybody here. Lexi, Claire, hey, what's up, Robert? And Boots, what's going on? Amanda, Rwanda, hello. And I think I said Claire already. Yeah, Boots, All right, Texas, militia official. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you. If I missed anybody, just tell me. So, Joel Katz, or David Schwartz, is he Satoshi Nakamoto? I'm going to prove, I believe he is. He says no, and then does weird things to make it appear like he is. For example, Ripple's Chief Technology Officer, David Schwartz, has once again tried to disprove his claims that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, the enigmatic creator of Bitcoin. And no, it's not the guy in Florida who sued the world court system to get his Bitcoin back. Apparently it was taken from him. And, well, it could have been that guy, and David stole his crap for the NSA. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, it probably is that, but that guy is not credited, according to mainstream media or academia, as being the creator of the blockchain Bitcoin. So, is Ripple CTO Satoshi Nakamoto? Well, one of the unsolved puzzles in the industry is the unraveling of the main personality behind the Bitcoin protocol. For more than a decade since Satoshi Nakamoto faded off the public scene, crypto proponents have pointed at several brilliant personalities that might fit the profile. While the post from David Schwartz came off as a light-hearted one, as he is known for, the responses generated visibly showcases why many held on to the belief that he might know who the real Nakamoto is. Despite his humorous way of convincing his followers and Crypto X that he is not the inventor of Bitcoin, he succeeded in creating a new army of those who believe he is Nakamoto. So let's try to disprove the fake Satoshi. While the Ripple CTO has made fruitless attempts to recuse himself from the Satoshi Nakamoto title, Australian scientist Dr. Craig Wright paraded himself as the man behind the iconic digital currency for close to a decade. That's the guy I was talking about who sued to get his Bitcoin back. With series of lawsuits filed against those who contend with his self-acclaimed status as Nakamoto, Dr. Craig Wright suffered a serious legal blow when a judge in the United Kingdom ruled recently that he lied to the court about his status as the inventor of Bitcoin. This legal blow has returned some normalcy to the broader Bitcoin ecosystem. Notably, the Bitcoin white paper, taken down from the Bitcoin.org website, has now been reinstated on the platform. With the ruling, the fact remains that no one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, as far as when it comes to someone publicly claiming it. David Schwartz is one of the few personalities that many believe is responsible for the coin, especially because of his early work in the encryption technology. As the brain behind most of the innovative systems behind the Ripple Labs blockchain payments firm, it becomes easy to suggest he has a hand in Bitcoin. Over the years, the Ripple CTO has made several attempts to correct the notion that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. On his official X account, just recently, Schwartz shared a picture of himself with a masked fellow. Ironically, the individual shaped the mask to mimic the widely circulated image of Satoshi Nakamoto. Claire says he's playing both sides of the same coin. That's funny. He is. David Schwartz stirred a wave of curiosity across social media platforms with an unexpected inquiry into the enigmatic figure behind Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. Schwartz's interest was piqued during an NBA broadcast game when a jersey adorned with the name Satoshi Nakamoto and the cover image of War's track, Why Can't We Be Friends, caught his attention. Upon questioning the significance of the jersey, it was revealed to Schwartz that it belongs to a burgeoning fashion brand named Satoshi Nakamoto. The brand, led by George Robertson, has already garnered attention from high-profile personalities such as Kanye West and Jack Dorsey. He was the original creator of Twitter, who have sported its apparel during prominent events like the Super Bowl. Notably, Schwartz has been a prominent figure in the field of cryptography and blockchain development since the 1990s, early 80s, well, mid-80s. However, he has consistently denied any association with the elusive Bitcoin creator, dismissing the conjecture as mere speculation. Right. But he did work for the NSA. And there are documentations proving that NSA were working on a similar concept. Ripple CEO hints the programmers at Ripple worked on Bitcoin. So it's out. Okay. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, stirred speculations regarding David Schwartz being the real identity behind the pseudonymous Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto. During a recent podcast, Garlinghouse claimed that some of the developers who created the XRP ledger, XRPL, the underlying blockchain of XRP, were also early engineers of the Bitcoin network. Is that just a coincidence? That pretty much just sums it up. And with the information on what David created in a patent back in 1991, gathered the attention of the NSA, whom recruited him to build Bitcoin. And then, after 10, 15 years, they put it out on the market and got interest. And people have pumped in like, what, $100 billion into it? $200 billion? That was the test to roll out a currency that will replace the dollar and easier to track people. According to Garlinghouse, these developers attempted to build a better digital asset, a better one than the Bitcoin that they built before, to solve some of the problems inherent in Bitcoin, including scalability and high energy consumption. Okay? Now, I don't know if you guys know about Bitcoin, but here's how I believe it works. Many computers, you can say hundreds or thousands, okay? They will get together in a group and they will all mine for a coin together. And how they mine with Bitcoin, this is just Bitcoin, not other cryptocurrencies which are different. What Bitcoin does is it gives out a very hard problem to solve. Quantum problems, quantum theory problems, string theory problems, mathematical problems, all kinds of problems that humans have not been able to solve. And with all of this computing power, they were able to solve the problem. And once they do, they get a reward, and that reward from Bitcoin is a coin. And if a group have been mining together, it's split up amongst the group, the one coin. Then they go again and they continue making it. Now, it evolved to getting bits and pieces of the coin, and you can mine and actually make a little bit of Bitcoin, but not the full coin. But it metamorphosed into just mining, and any part of the coin from 0% to 100% is valuable. Then other companies got involved and started using tokenization to keep track of information going in and out of banks. So if a typical bank on a typical day sends out maybe anywhere between 200 to 1,000 transactions that go back and forth, you can tokenize the information and then zip it up and put value on it. And that's what tokenization or cryptocurrency is. The zipping up of the information that's inside what was mined, if the banks will allow you to mine their information, for example. And there's other ways of creating transactions that could have value to create a piece or chunk of information that you can buy that has a token affiliated with how much it's worth. I hope you understand that's what cryptocurrency is. That's the easiest way I can explain it. So Garlington's remarks excited speculations within the crypto community, with members suggesting that Ripple CTO David Schwartz could be, in fact, this pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. Top crypto enthusiasts, including the Good Morning Crypto podcast host Abdullah Abs Nassif, has also fueled the speculations. Come on. I'm putting this one to bed. It's him. I'm convinced, just based on the simple evidence that I have accrued and given to you guys. Remember, I put all my links below. You can take a look at my information. In every show, I put my links and my sources. I'm convinced that David Schwartz is Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, or the manager behind the whole thing to build it. But no one cares, however. No one cares, okay? Because it's not important to the world. This is just something that, crypto miners and enthusiasts are just, saying, yep, that's him, ha, ha, ha. But it's a bigger picture to me. It's a part of a nefarious plan to control the entire money system. And for David Schwartz to be linked to working with the NSA and this platform that has been in the works since 1990s raises red flags to me. The people don't care because this information doesn't ring any bells. They don't understand it. They just don't care. I get that. But unless a major newspaper or media outlet prints a story that the NSA is behind crypto, then this story is just shrugged. Oh well. And that's a shame, because we're going to put ourselves right back in the same situation that we were back in 1913, back in 1933, back in 1871. Every time when America files for bankruptcy and the central currency and the central banks come in and save the day by giving us outrageous loans that'll never be paid off. This is a scam. I don't buy that crypto is going to be decentralized. And many are on that train. They're like, oh, no. Because every transaction is followed. Right. I get that part. But if you wrote the software, well, I'll get ahead of myself. So why am I making a big deal about it? Well, because cryptocurrency has been pitched to us that it is the most valuable money-changing system in the world and was not created by the bankers. They really believe that. They don't think that the bankers, let's just call them the Khazarians. You could call them the Illuminati. You can call them, the Luciferians, the Alice Bailey followers, the Aleister Crowley lovers, the Helena Blavatsky worshippers, the ones that worship the god of this world. But Bitcoin was pitched to us as a lonely engineer named Satoshi Nakamoto who wanted to create a currency that was unhackable, traceable, and holds us accountable. A currency that the people would have control of. A way to beat the money changers' game of chess and put the power of finance back into the people's hands. But it's not. It was created by the bankers, and David Schwartz is the key to all of this. And nobody's paying attention. I get the fact that crypto is interesting and fun. If you do trade on it and actually make money, great. I'm happy for you. I'm sure it does make money. But it is it's the 30 pieces of silver that was given to Judas for giving up Jesus. They're slowly integrating it. And by 20 years, it will be all crypto. And Ripple and the engineers behind it have the backdoor access to manipulate it however they want. And that's the problem that I have. You see, with a physical dollar in my hand, nobody can hack that. I can still give that in exchange for something. But if the state considers me to be a terrorist, they can turn off all of the tokens that I own and present them as worthless. That's what bothers me. Because it's making it to where there's nowhere to hide anymore from the greed and the lust for power. And I'm just trying to warn the public that this will be implemented within the next 15 to 20 years. David Schwartz, or Satoshi Nakamoto, and the entire push for crypto to replace the current money system was planned all along. The narrative was in control, and this is what the bankers want. The only reason people have invested in it in the first place is because they pitched it as a decentralized application. Sure, it is on the front, but in the back end, the actual creators who hold the key to the back door, that's where I have the problem. This means crypto is nothing more than a scam. And 300 million people worldwide have invested in it, with an estimated value of all crypto that 300 million people have purchased around a couple $1 trillion that has been put into crypto. It's a scam created by the bankers to replace the failing dollar. But how? Well, my last report said XRP will back the derivatives market. Well, how is that even possible? Well, a hypothetical scenario is, and it's highly unlikely and potentially illegal, so you know they're not going to do it. Right. But let's explore a hypothetical scenario where BlackRock and JP Chase could attempt to exert influence over the Federal Reserve through derivatives. One, massive investments. Both firms could invest heavily in derivatives, which right now they're just doing TCN, where they're going to track derivatives, but they could invest heavily in derivatives tied to the Federal Reserve's monetary policy decisions. Then those derivatives could be based on internet rate futures, bond prices, or other economic indicators directly influenced by the Federal Reserve. They could do market manipulation by controlling a significant portion of the derivatives market. BlackRock and JP could potentially manipulate market prices and interest rates. This could create a situation where the Federal Reserve's actions are directly influenced by the firm's financial interests. And then by having such a huge control of the derivatives market, they could put political pressure. The firms could use their influence to lobby for policies that benefit their derivative positions. They might also threaten to withdraw investments or sell their holdings, potentially causing market instability. But they wouldn't do that. No, they wouldn't do that. Because they're not interested in money or anything, in power, right? All roads lead to Rome, right? The Jesuits, right? And BlackRock, Vanguard, JP Chase, they all are Jesuits. They all wear the red bracelet. So why is this highly unlikely? Why would they not do this? Okay, this is where academia says no, they'd never do this. Yeah, unlike they would never lie to us. Like saying the economy is going to crash back in 2008, and we need how many trillions of dollars to push into the banks for a free loan? Just give us the money. And we're not going to pay it back. Just give it to us. We'll take that. We'll invest it into the economy. That was the deal back in 2008. And did the economy crash? Fucking A, it did. Big time. And but their excuse is it wasn't as bad as it would have been if you didn't give us all that money. Thanks. All right. Hey, Robbie, did you get that yacht you were talking about? Oh, So they say they won't do it because of regulatory oversight, because Congress and the judicial system would just really be hard on them. Sure, they would. The Federal Reserve and other regulatory agencies have strict rules in place to prevent such manipulation. But doesn't JP Morgan Chase own part of the Federal Reserve? I believe they do. But we won't know because, we can't audit them. But there has been a lot of speculation that JP Morgan Chase owns part of the Federal Reserve. So this is something on their trail of doing. They are all for cryptocurrency now. They may have not been in the past because they didn't understand it, the Federal Reserve. But damn straight Ripple did. And I believe BlackRock and JP Morgan Chase are on it. And they're like, they cornered it, grabbed it, and now they're the leaders in putting in crypto into the financial system. So the Federal Reserve and other regulatory agencies have strict rules in place. So you won't do it to prevent such manipulation. And what they do is they monitor market activity closely and can take actions against firms that engage in illegal or unethical practices. Yeah, like when they took out Bear Stearns because they were competitors. And the complexity of derivatives would be negating towards their goals of purchasing up derivatives. The derivatives market is complex and highly interconnected. It would be difficult for any single entity to exert complete control over it, especially given the presence of numerous other market participants. But if you put in your own tokenization and and track all ledgers going through the derivatives market, you have the key to all of that information. You can corner the market based on your mafia tactics. Come on, people. This is what's going on. This is what they do. It's funny that people think that corporations are good and they care about the people. But they don't. They never did. If they did care about the people, they wouldn't put heavy metals in our food and water. They wouldn't poison us with fluoride. They wouldn't poison us with aluminum, which is in everything now. And they use aluminum to spray the skies for geoengineering to control the weather, which by 2025, the U.S. Navy has said they will own. I'm sorry, the U.S. Air Force. They will own the weather by next year. And we know geoengineering is real because 2 states in the United States, Tennessee and New Hampshire, they have outlawed geoengineering, meaning no more lines in their skies. Even Mexico outlawed geoengineering, but the U.S. Air Force still sprays on the coast, meaning over the water, and it just kind of floats over there anyway. Nothing they can really do about that. But aluminum in everything, does that show that corporations and our own government care about the people? Absolutely not. Especially since I have proved in other episodes how the government have been caught experimenting on people, killing many. And they had to pay reparations for their mistake. It happens all the time. That's why I've never been a big proponent of government. I view myself as a different kind of an anarchist, where I just don't believe in giving any power to anybody over anything. I believe we should all just go about our own business and do what we want. I'm not saying steal, kill, and destroy, but get a plot of land and live on it and defend it. That's all I'm saying. But we can't do that anymore due to all these regulations that will deter you from being a farmer. BlackRock and JP Morgan will also not corner the derivatives market because of public scrutiny. Any attempt at BlackRock or JP Morgan to manipulate the Federal Reserve would likely face intense public scrutiny and political backlash. Oh no, like they care. Public scrutiny, political backlash. Like that helped Bill Clinton when he got head in the Oval Office. Was that really backlash? I mean, he taught all of our children during that generation that oral sex is not sex. Oral sex is not sexual relations. Until he had to finally admit it. I did not have sex with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I just made sure she gave me good head. And then later he's like, I did in fact have sexual relations with that woman, and it was great. It's impossible to put faith in government if you are a critical thinker. And if absolute power corrupts absolutely, what BlackRock and JP Morgan are trying to do is get their foot in the door to control the financial industry in America. And I believe they are under the direction of the Federal Reserve, who is under the direction of the Jesuits. You may not believe it or not, but there's a tri-city that controls the entire world. They're the new Rome, and they've been controlling the entire world since after World War I. The tri-city is Washington, D.C., Vatican, and London, which are not even a part of any country. They're their own countries. And the amount of wealth that the Tri-Cities have accumulated is beyond measure. We can't be blind to the fact that Washington, D.C. is its own company, a corporation. And it doesn't take much effort to Google it to find out it's true. My investigation and interview with Russell-J. Gould, who captured the Title IV flag, the battle flag, and went to the United Nations and was granted all power of land underneath all the court systems worldwide, whom almost got away with bringing our country back. He even has documentation that proves that in 1871, when we filed for our second bankruptcy, we lost our country to the Crown. And we became Washington, D.C.'s slave. Then they gave us Social Security numbers. And then they started brainwashing the school system to make us good workers. Why else would politicians go up and talk about jobs? But they sure don't talk about you being your own employer. Why don't they talk about creating CEOs of companies? Why don't they talk about creating new companies? No, they just talk about jobs. That's it. Because they have trained and brainwashed us to be good little workers and pay our taxes because, well, that was the agreement with the Crown back in 1871 when they gave us a $3 million loan. Thank you to the idea that Abraham Lincoln had to start a civil war to put us in debt. So the crypto industry and what JP Morgan and BlackRock are trying to do is very complex. It is conceivable that a major financial crisis in the future, such as a mortgage crisis, could actually create conditions favorable for the adoption of digital currencies. Here's how BlackRock and JP Morgan might potentially leverage such a situation if it comes. Loss of confidence in the traditional banking system, a severe mortgage crisis that happens again because it just happened. And then, thanks to Trump, he deregulated it again. After the 2008 crash, we regulated the crap out of derivatives. And now we're back in the same boat, if, in fact, even in a worse position. And JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock are like this behind the tree. You know what I mean? That meme with that dude. It's so funny. Just waiting for the crash. This crash could lead to a surge in demand for alternative financial products, including digital currencies. It could be that maybe, and this is just an opinion, but maybe JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock are putting the TCN tokenization tracking of derivatives being traded back and forth in order to prove that this is the best way to go versus the old way. And that can give the market more peace in moving forward in that direction. Give them more confidence in digital tokenization of tracking finances back and forth. They also would invest in the digital currency infrastructure. BlackRock and JP Morgan, they do anticipate a growing demand for digital currencies. And they might invest heavily in developing the infrastructure necessary to support their adoption, which is exactly what they put out not even a month ago, what they plan on doing, which is the tokenization of derivatives. If they own the software that does it, they own it. They own it because they are the ones that monitor all ledgers that go back and forth, meaning if some guy wanted to do something bad and they go to JP Morgan Chase and they say, can you tell me who has the most ledgers going back and forth? Who can you tell me out of all the ledgers going back and forth, who has the most money out there? Who owns the most derivatives? Who's got the most value? Wouldn't that be interesting information to someone who has motives to do something bad to that company or person? And what if JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock say, yeah, it's this guy, his name is blah, 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 and here's his corporation. Go, yeah, and this is how much he's worth. Well, we can't have that, can we? But that is Corporation 101. The more money you make, the more you have to invest in protecting it. And you become a predator against competition. It's the law of the jungle. You think Coke and Pepsi have a benign relationship and nothing nefarious happens between them? That they don't have their own security guards and private armies protecting their recipes, protecting their financial interests? They have spies and armies that go out and kill people. And everyone's drinking Coke like, have a happy day. Drinking Pepsi like, this is the choice of a new generation. And meanwhile, both of those companies are playing espionage back and forth, trying to kill their revenue stream. That's it. And JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock, well, they could go form partnerships with digital currency companies, other ones. Once they get a hold of the derivatives market and they can see the ledgers going back and forth, that's all they care about. It's the information going back and forth. Who controls what? Who owns what? Right now, the derivatives market is all almost like paper to paper. From different software to different software. It's not all put together into one place. And this is what BlackRock and JP Morgan want. They want a bird's eye view of all of their competition. Right? That's what I would want to do if I want to get my foot in the door, to understand who owns what. You see, it was harder to get that information because you needed to hire private investigators, spies, and you had to kidnap and torture people to get information. Now, BlackRock, JP Morgan, they're going to have all of the information of all the ledgers going back and forth between the entire derivatives market of $1.2 quadrillion. Do you understand how wonderful an opportunity that is for them to know who owns what? When in the past, it was really hard to get that information. But TCN is going to give them, because they own the software, all of the rights. And what's to stop them from turning off the tokenization that proved that one company owned this or that? If they have the information going back and forth, they could literally turn it off and say, no, it doesn't exist. Sure, they get sued. Who cares? As long as they got $1 billion out of it and they got sued for $10 million, and it caught $10 million in fees, there's your profit. Am I the only one that sees this as bad? Meanwhile, everyone's on the crypto train going, woo, woo, woo. Why? These guys are after you. And it doesn't matter if you're in the derivatives market or not. They are going to own it by having that type of power and control over all the ledgers. Basically, what they're saying is TCN is a centralized tokenization of the derivatives market. That's what it is. It's coming. They got it all planned, and you are going to pay for it. They're going to take your tax dollars and make it happen. Of course, there's going to be some factors to consider. They're going to have regulatory hurdles. Who cares? If they own the entire derivatives market and can control it by knowing who owns what, who cares about the regulatory hurdles? If you're a mafia company like BlackRock is, which you know they are, if you don't think so, you're living in dream world. Your head's in the sand. Your cognitive dissonance is running amok. And that's okay. I would rather be in that position as I continue going down the rabbit hole of learning about how destructive this world is. But if that's your choice, that's your choice. But I would have more peace and probably sleep better knowing that everyone's great. The world's great. Everything's wonderful. Let's all have pie. It's America. Let's have America pie. And just celebrate our independence. But I can't. I can't because I have watched regulatory agencies slap people on the wrist for creating white-collar crimes. And the company continues. The company continues. The adoption of digital currencies is subject to significant regulatory scrutiny, okay? But that's bullshit because that's what Congress wants you to think that they are. Oh, we're gonna regulate this thing hardcore. Well, regulation means you got to pay the piper, all right? If the piper's going to approve you to make money off of this, they need to pay off their house in Hawaii. You have to make that happen. That's how it works. Okay? Lobbying isn't writing a check for $10,000 so that your guy will win. Lobbying is sitting down in front of them and you saying, for this $10,000 I'm giving you, I want you to not pass this law and not pass this law, and then here's a new law that I wrote that I want you to pass. Is that legal? Damn right it is, because they've been doing it and doing it and doing it, and nobody has done a fucking thing. Well, what about regulations? They don't care. They're the lawmakers. There are no regulations when you sit in their seats. But what they got, they get to go on private jets to strip clubs, get all the cocaine and hookers they want, men and women. Of course, nowadays they have to be pretty darn careful because of, get caught on the wrong jet. They're recording you like Epstein. But they've learned their lesson from that one. Oh, but don't worry, Trump and the White Hats are gonna take them all down. Sure they will. Just like when Trump comes in, he's going to make that promise of what he made when he first came into office in his presidential speech, saying we're giving the power back to the people. Where's the power? I don't see it. All I see is Congress is still screwing you. Congress is still getting rich off of market manipulation and insider trading. It's all manipulation. It's all lies. And we know that it's just a corporation if you dig deep and you find what I found. So who cares about the regulatory hurdles when it comes to BlackRock and JP Morgan? You think they care? No. They get sued and they lose all the time for playing dirty. All the time. And do you think they're afraid of market volatility? No. Even though digital currency markets are known for their volatility, a sudden downturn in the value of digital assets could undermine their appeal as a safe haven during a crisis. Do you think they care? No. You know why? Because they control the big one, Ripple. Everyone is on the XRP train going nuts thinking it's going to pay off their house. I don't buy it. It's been at 50 cents for years. What is it waiting for? And competition could come in. Other financial institutions and technology could wipe out JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock because they would be interested in capitalization on the mortgage crisis too. This could lead to intense competition for market share in digital currency space. But if they come in first with the tokenized central network, or whatever they call it, the TCN, they're going to keep track of all the ledgers in derivatives market. Nobody can come in and have that power over them. Now, while a mortgage crisis could create opportunities for JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock to promote digital currencies, let's note that the adoption of those assets is influenced by a complex interplay of factors, including the regulatory market or the regulatory laws, technological advancements, market-related considerations, and ultimately the success of digital currencies will depend on their ability to address the specific challenges and needs of consumers and businesses. But again, if you control the ledgers, you control the people, just like the Federal Reserve does. Now, maybe if the derivatives market were to survive thanks to their tokenized collateral network. Tokenized collateral network, that's the TCN. That is the digital currency monitoring of derivatives. Tokenized collateral network. And this gives the market the comfort to move into other places. Let's say a crash occurs, but it's light compared to 2008, and the market thinks TCN. That could be an opportunity for them. Okay? So basically it's like this. If JP Morgan Chase and BlackRock, they see the market coming to a crash, which they've already, those companies, their CEOs and executives already pulled out money of their own stock to get ready for a crash. And then if the TCN, the tokenized network, keeps the derivatives market in place and the crash isn't as bad, then this could give the markets a little bit more better feeling into going into tokenization. This probably is the most likely probability. What's going on? They're not going to just come in and take it from a crisis, which they could, from a housing crisis. They could literally come in, scare Congress into going digital. It could happen. But that would raise a lot of questions. Instead, they're just going to come in quietly and be the central bank of who monitors the ledgers between all derivative swaps. And that's not a good thing. Even though they say, hey man, we're just monitoring stuff. We're just keeping track of ledgers. That's it. We're creating tokens and people are making money off of those tokens too. So it's a win-win, huh? Win-win, yeah? Huh? But you have a lot of power with this information. How do we know you are not going to use that to benefit your company? Oh, we would never dream of doing that. Maybe they don't take over the Federal Reserve right away. Okay. But they're going to slowly continue to tokenize the market until everything is behind CBDC. And to where the only thing to do left is switch. All right. We're already 90% there. We might as well go all the way. Now, again, I'm not an expert. I can put some things together, but good God, it sure looks like what BlackRock and JP Morgan are doing is they're going to control some valuable information, and they could use that to blackmail others. Look, it's hard to figure out what the bankers are up to, okay? But they leave breadcrumbs. And what they have left that I'm looking at is very fishy. And to be honest, quite unprofessional. If I could find this shit, kind of like BlackRock's link to both shooters aiming at Trump, as they both were in BlackRock commercials. How do you explain that? Both assassination attempt assailants who tried to kill Trump, both of them from different parts of the United States, were in BlackRock commercials. Well, I'll be sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Come on. What are the odds? Another weird thing is the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink. He's just sold $100 million worth of shares in BlackRock. Why would he do that? Does he anticipate a crash coming so they can use their derivatives ledgers to give information to the Federal Reserve that the derivatives market is still solid, so that the feds can say, yeah, it looks like it's going to crash, but it's not going to be as hard because the derivatives market is solid. And that's their way of getting their foot in the door. I mean, it makes sense to me. Again, I am not an expert, but good God, I found this. Why can't others? And why isn't any of this on the news? Oh, yeah, I forgot. The news are controlled by BlackRock, JP Morgan Chase, and all the other corporations. So what do you think the BlackRock, Larry Fink, what do you think he knows what is coming? Is it a crash? And while the crash is happening, I think we should all watch the derivatives market to see if their TCN, their tokenization, centralized currency holds up. And if it does, then it's obvious they're manipulating, and BlackRock knows they're manipulating, and the Federal Reserve knows they're manipulating, and eventually they're going to get their way. It's obvious. I can't prove they are going to crash the market because I don't know how you do that. They do. They crash it every 10 years, it looks like. Honestly, most business people who have made a fortune would be, over $1 million, if that. Now it's like over 10 million. They know that every 10 years a stock market crash comes. And it's inevitable. It happens every 10 years. And they know it's manipulation. It's just the big fish eating the little fish. And that's how it always is. But they are betting on the derivatives market now, BlackRock and JP Morgan. And that is a bold move considering what happened in 2008. Okay? Bold move, meaning they know what's going on. It's not a bold move for them. They set it up so that they will control the tokenization between derivatives. I got a lot of comments on my last video. A lot! A listener sent a comment, which got me thinking. And before I get into that, I think we need to hear from our sponsor. When the Roaring 20s, while everyone was talking about prohibition, Standard Oil quietly changed to modern medicine from plants to synthetics made from crude oil.
It sounded harmless because it was just a byproduct of oil, but pharmaceuticals just blew up because oil was cheap and everywhere. Unfortunately, the Depression and the Spanish flu outbreak diverted attention from studying crude oil synthetics and the human body basically to determine if it was safe for consumption. Big Oil was able to suppress such research and build an empire where 95% of all medicine we take now is derived from crude oil. Now, studies have shown that crude oil is not only in medicine, but in our shampoo, deodorants, dishwashing detergents, and water bottles, creating what would appear to be modern diseases that cross the stomach-brain barrier. Diseases that never existed before, like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, and autism, where scientists have actually found links to synthetic oil, not including geoengineering, where organizations are actually using heavy metals to control the weather that is in our soil and food. I wanted to find a way to reverse those effects of industrialism and turn back time to where oil wasn't a part of our bodies anymore. My team created Elite Potion, a supplemental product that binds to heavy metals and kills parasites that our bodies used to break down and dispose of. Whimsy Worm Wash works to kill microscopic parasites that escape into our bloodstream. Our Nickel Nixer Elixir formula binds to nano heavy metal particulates and the parasite debris, flushing them out of the body like it used to. Unfortunately, with the fourth industrial revolution coming, humans have to adapt to silicon, oil, and heavy metals in order to merge with machines. And I wanted a product for myself to stop the effects of this, so basically I can live longer and feel better. I've been using it for months now, and I feel like I'm in my 20s again.
It's true. It's awesome. Had a great call yesterday with Robert Gertison and Caitlin, who is his health expert. And it was just eye-opening. They gave us some great information, great feedback. I was really excited about it, and I want to thank you, Robert. All right, so moving on to XRP, Ripple, and all of this information, I want to talk about the comments in my last video. A listener sent a comment which got me thinking. They said XRP equals all the money. 1 XRP equals 1 million drops. 100 billion times 1 million equals 100 quadrillion dollars. So basically, 1 XRP equals $10,000 easily. So they're saying that XRP could go from 50 cents right now to $10,000 easily and be that thing, that 100 quadrillion dollars to back up the value of that, right? So Ripple XRP, they say, equals 150 years of a monetary system, the new financial system. They say that's the Great Awakening, maybe the Great Reset. And that was interesting. And that got me thinking, and I'll respond to that in a second. Another listener commented that Jeb McCaleb is Stellar Lumens, XLM, says all the AI companies are using XLM. IBM uses XLM and HBAR. IBM is releasing quantum computers next year, and they said Web 3.0 is ready to go. Thought that was interesting. Now, I'm not a finance guy, I've told you. And I admit I can't wrap my head around all of it. And I've received more comments on my last video, which makes me believe that I am onto something. Even a lot of people on TikTok were saying it was just clickbait because it couldn't be true. Well, I didn't do that on purpose. I actually was just trying to figure out how in the hell did the NSA get Ripple to get their foot in the door for the BlackRock JP Morgan deal that's coming with the derivatives. And is there a link to them to push us towards a digital currency that's centralized? And I wasn't trying to clickbait, so I'm just saying. I totally understand where they're coming from, though. But I'm onto something. And many say I'm wrong and they don't buy it. And I totally understand that too. That's cool. I hope I'm wrong. And when I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. But I do think this BlackRock and JP Morgan derivatives play, it is forcing the hand of the people, because once they can prove to the markets that what they've put together creates more value and security for the derivatives market, then maybe all of the other markets will start playing game. That's all I'm saying. Another listener commented and said, expand your thinking, James. This is going to be global. They will put everything on the blockchain. It's going to be massive. XRP doesn't have a back door, unlike Ethereum. I don't buy that one, which has been tweaked multiple times. XRP Ledger has validations across the world. XRP runs well on the ledger. It's the fastest token at 3 seconds. And XLM is a fast token at 5 seconds. So fast token meaning you could get your information on the transition between two banks, or the tokenization. You can basically, it's a way of validating a FICO score in a way when you're buying commodities or things or investments, And so XRP, and you want to buy a derivative swap of $10 million, and you need to find out if that derivative swap is valuable and it's for sale and it's valued at this, it's correctly valued at this price. You can find that in 3 seconds with XRP. So do you understand what I'm saying? The software is going to help this, and they're going in on the back end through tracking the ledgers, and then eventually they're going to roll it out. So after reading that, when he said XLM is going to play a part in this, it may not be XRP, it could be XLM. I found this out. The tokenization of the global financial system is still in its early stages, though. There have been significant advancements, obviously, especially in the realm of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. It will be a large portion of traditional financial assets, but 99% of it still remains to be untokenized, okay? So we're looking at something that's going to take a lot more time than just a stock market crash and then we switch. And I believe that. And this is because of regulatory issues, right? This is trying to get the people to be interested in it and move forward with it, okay? Because we have to figure out as people that this is going to be better for me going digital versus holding the dollars. We have to pay the boy that mowed our lawn $20 in token instead of the money that's in your pocket. And we have to say, well, I guess we can just give up bartering and give up, paying people under the table and go in this direction. So they have to slowly put this in place so that it's all set up, ready to go, until they just force us. And there's no say in it. And that's why this BlackRock, JP Morgan Chase deal to do the TCN, to tokenize the ledgers going between derivatives and track it all, is a bad, bad thing. There is currently technology limitations to speed, okay, to track 1.2 quadrillion derivatives information that get traded back and forth. That's a huge challenge, but they believe they have the software to do it. Blockchain technology has made significant strides, but there are still scalability and interoperability challenges that need to be addressed. So I don't think that they can just do it right off the bat. I think it's going to take time for them to integrate it. Investor education. Many investors are still unfamiliar with tokenized assets, their benefits, and associated risks. So there needs to be increased education and awareness, and that's crucial for broader adoption, right? However, there's a growing trend towards tokenization. Everyone's going there. And the financial institutions and asset managers are exploring ways to tokenize various asset classes, including real estate, securities, and commodities, as this trend is driven by the potential benefits of improved efficiency, liquidity, and accessibility. making it simpler, faster, speedier, more secure. But security is where they get you. Let us take your freedom away and we will give you security. That's what they're doing. And BlackRock sees this as a control mechanism. Same with JP Morgan Chase. As regulatory frameworks become more established and technological advancements continue, we can expect tokenization on a global scale within the next 10 to 15 years, if not maybe 20. As of now, a rough estimate suggests that less than 1% of the global financial system is tokenized. All right? So 99% of the system, or 99.5% of the system, is not tokenized yet. If less than 1% of the financial system is tokenized, and the truth is, based on historical examples of technological adoption and market penetration, it's possible that the full tokenization of the global financial system could take anywhere from 10 to 25 years to be 100% tokenized. This timeline and time frame is influenced by factors such as complexity of technology, regulation hurdles, market acceptance, and infrastructure development. Meaning, if you want to make money, you better get into XRP, you better get into tokenization, you better start getting into cryptocurrency, because that is the future. And that's not financial advice. For instance, the widespread adoption of the internet took several decades. Okay, remember when the internet came out? I was like, what's this? What's an email? What's that @ sign for? Why is it there? I don't understand. Well, it took us a while to learn this crap. The widespread adoption of the internet took several decades, with significant growth occurring in the 90s and early 2000s. But we had a bubble. A bunch of people started making up businesses and getting loans and leaving. That was the dot-com bubble. Similarly, the transition from traditional banking to digital banking has been gradual, while mobile banking becoming more prevalent in recent years. While these examples provide some context, it's important to note that the tokenization of the financial system is a unique and rapidly evolving field. It's the Wild West right now, and the big guys with big monies are taking advantage of it. Because I do believe that they have created it. Or if they didn't create it, like BlackRock or JP Morgan Chase, it was the Federal Reserve or the NSA, or in combination with the instruction or leadership of the Jesuits to do it. And the actual timeline could be shorter or longer depending on many factors. Now, I posted a TikTok video last night, and it took off. People were saying the XRP will place, my video said the XRP will replace the dollar, and watched my Rumble Live. And that video got 30,000 hits. I never said anything other than that. And tonight I had what? 60 people? So either people are interested in for this information for just investment purposes, or they think that I am onto something too. Or they just don't like to hear what I have to say, and they'll continue listening. Many were correcting me, saying the RLUSD will replace the dollar. Well, let's check that out. RLUSD stands for Ripple USD, okay? The Ripple USD is what they're saying will replace the dollar. It's a stable coin issued by Ripple. It's a blockchain technology company. Stable coins are cryptocurrencies that are pegged to a traditional currency like the US dollar to maintain a stable value. Here are some key points about RLUSD. Well, it's pegged to the US dollar right now. The RLUSD is designed to maintain a 1.1 value, or 1-to-1 value with the US dollar. This means that one RLUSD token should always be worth $1 US. It's issued on XRP Ledger and Ethereum, meaning you could go buy it there. RLUSD is available on both XRP and Ethereum blockchain, allowing for interoperability and broader use cases. Issued on XRP, there you go. So it's also potential for cross-border payments. Ripple hopes that RLUSD can facilitate more efficient cross-border payments, leveraging the speed and low cost of blockchain technology. Our LUSD is a promising development, but it's still in its early stages. Its long-term success will depend on factors like market adoption, regulatory approval, and technological advancements. While the people were telling me that I'm way off, fine, but I think they're arguing over semantics here. My whole point to my argument is that all of this is banker designed and manufactured, which will be centralized. So who cares if I said Ripple or XRP or any other tokenization or stablecoin will replace the dollar? My point is, it's coming. And it is going to ruin our lives. It's going to put us back in the dark ages because we will not have cash on hand anymore. We cannot save up. People spend more money having a debit card than they do cash in their hand because they look at that cash and they just don't want to spend it. But with the debit card, it's easy because you don't see it. It's not real. Theoretically, the software developers of cryptocurrencies could create backdoors to manipulate their own currencies. That's my problem. I have been working in software and hardware for over 25 years. I understand how hardware and software work. And I understand how to talk to programmers. And I understand about Easter eggs, backdoors, and manipulation if you own the code, if you are the coder. That's my problem. You see, with Ripple, or even with BlackRock and JP Morgan, by building a TCN tokenization of tracking derivatives, they could alter their own code. Many software programmers that I know, they write backdoors. And they do it on purpose for leverage, to hold the company accountable to them if they screw them over. They could easily go in the back door, alter the code, and screw them up if they get fired. They could introduce code changes that allow them to mint additional coins. They can control the supply or even reverse transactions. That's not good. They could exploit the vulnerabilities. If there are security vulnerabilities in the crypto's code, developers could exploit them to gain control. They could use privileged access. Developers often have access to cryptocurrency's private keys or other sensitive information, which could be used to manipulate the system or other people. When you have control of a currency, you have power. These software developers, especially this David Schwartz guy, no wonder why his LinkedIn picture, he looks like Jesus. Because he alone is one of the most powerful men on earth. One of. He's not a Breakspears, not an Orsini. I don't know, Schwartz sounds Jewy to me. Powerful. As I'm watching, it looks like, I watch on the comments, it looks like you guys are I thought you guys were setting up dates. Hey, how old are you? Oh, I'm this age. Oh, yeah? All right. Now I look at it, you're not. All right. So, and last, a reputation risk. Developers who manipulate their own currencies risk damaging their reputation. Well, who gives a shit? and the reputation of the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. Ooh, like they care. No. Dude, they can bury that shit within a second. All right, one more commercial, then our final thoughts.
If you're looking for a publication that delivers honest takes and critical insights into the issues of our day, then look no further than the Flame Paper. The Flame Paper is written for the people, by the people, who aren't afraid to challenge a mainstream narrative, be it healthcare, voter fraud, political correctness, or even the one world government. The Flame is full of timely articles, reports, and expert advice written by freedom-loving, truth-telling experts, journalists, and concerned citizens. To subscribe, go to theflameusa.com.
Yeah, I said it, Jewy. Yeah. So while the possibilities of backdoors exist, okay, the decentralized nature of many cryptocurrencies and the scrutiny of the community help to mitigate the risk. But that's what academia wants you to know. That's what the people who are putting their trust in crypto want you to know. They're like, nobody's ever gonna screw with it. Well, it happens all the time. And if we go off the gold standard, which we should go back on, and then we go on to a standard of just trust us, this is the United States ledgers that give us this value that backs it up. They're gonna mess with their competition. They're gonna betray people. They're going to use this as leverage to get what they want. It's gonna happen. So all I'm saying is, it's starting. It's a migration. The migration is slowly going to happen, and it's going to take about anywhere between 10 to 25 years for it to be complete, to where digital currency will replace all physical notes, promissory notes. And if you are a crypto programmer, you have an opportunity to create a backdoor. And I would be very cautious, because you could get yourself in trouble. Because you don't mess with the bankers. And the bankers, I believe, David Schwartz is a key. They are the ones who started this and are ushering it in to get rid of paper currency so that we cannot buy, sell, or trade outside of their system. This means they're not getting enough taxes. They want more. So if you are not happy with 40% taxes, get ready to pay 60%. How cute, though, that people think Ripple couldn't be hacked or manipulated by its own masters. That's cute. That's really cute. How cute that they have such faith in cryptocurrency. That's cute. When I prove to you that it can be manipulated. I can't believe the ignorance of those crypto experts who truly believe crypto can't be. Like the current US dollar and other currencies. Oh, it can't be manipulated? Absolutely it can. And it can be faked. People are creating money using printers. Counterfeiting. And how cute that people think that it's decentralized, that the banks can't do nothing. You're wrong. You're wrong, and you're gonna be forced one day to come to that acceptance, and I'm sorry for that day, because your heart will break. So the reality is, crypto will make its debut as a human staple in the next few decades, regardless if BlackRock and JP Morgan Chase intervene before. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. Crypto is not an idea of the people, as I have proved with David Schwartz. It was created by the NSA. It's been in the works since the late 80s. And also, I do not do any investment in crypto. other than own a few $1,000s of it. That's it. I do not offer financial advice, nor do I believe in the quantum financial system. Many scammers have been spoofing my image and videos, making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of the gullible. Don't be the gullible. I would never reach out to anyone asking if they are ready for a financial reset or crash and offer an opportunity. Those are scams, and you need to be smart about trusting anyone asking to move your assets. Have discernment, people. Have discernment. This has been Cause Before Symptom. I'm your host, James Carner. Tune in tomorrow night when God gives me another idea to talk about. Thank you so much. God bless you. God keep you. God thank you for hanging in there with me. I hope you got some information from this that was valuable. Go to elitepotion.com and fix your body. You need to detox from the parasites and heavy metals. Go to my website, jamescarner.com, and sign up to my newsletter. It's the only way I can get a hold of you. And if you could all do me one favor, just one alone, just love your neighbor. If we all forgave and loved our neighbor, this world would be a better place. See you tomorrow.